James and Justin here, your favorite spiritual analysts on all things culturally relevant, and today we're going to be looking at a Sikh video. It's been a while since we've taken anything from that faith, and this video is titled, Is Krishna God? Who is Lord Krishna? And yeah, we'll see what it's got to say.
Let's find out.
And Krishna's response is, if you want to see who I really am, you can't use your physical eyes. You need to have divine eyes in order to be able to see. And Krishna blesses Arjuna with the vision of what he really is, his entire form. The Bhagavad Gita is essentially the story of this prince called Arjuna. And Arjuna is standing at the battlefield with his army. He's ready to start a battle. But the people on the other side of the battle, the opposite army, are made up of also his family members. They are his cousins, even his teacher is standing on the other side of the battlefield. And Arjuna is in crisis. He doesn't know, how can I begin a battle with the people who are my own blood, who are the people that I've looked up to, who are the people that I admire? I can't go forward. And the whole of the Bhagavad Gita is the Krishna's advice to Arjuna about how do you accept life? How do you begin to understand your duty in life? How do you understand life and death? And Krishna's advice to him is constantly asking him to reframe his thinking. And at one point in chapter 11, Krishna is realized to be this divine being. And Arjuna asks him, I want to see your whole form. I know that you are the divine Lord of the entire universe, and I know this is not your whole form. I want to see your Vishvarup. I want to see your entire form. And Krishna's response is, if you want to see who I really am, you can't use your physical eyes. You need to have divine eyes in order to be able to see. And Krishna blesses Arjuna with the vision of what he really is, his entire form. And Arjuna recognizes that what I've been looking at is a very limited form of Lord Krishna. In fact, Krishna is the entire universe itself, and Krishna reveals himself to have millions of eyes and millions of faces and millions of mouths. And Krishna has all the characteristics that you can see in the world. Krishna is ultimate kindness, but is also ultimate ferociousness. Krishna is in all places and encompasses all animals, all creatures. And what Arjuna sees is what he needs in order to break his dualistic thinking, in order for him to understand everything is Krishna. And when he understands everything is Krishna, it's the perspective that he needs in order to fight this battle, in order to understand this is life playing itself out. This is Krishna playing itself out in all the different roles. And so where this comes back to is this Vishwarup, this whole form, seeing the complete vision of the divine itself. And once you see oneness in everything, then how you interact with everything changes. Guru doesn't want you to limit God to a particular place or to a particular shape or only being something that came in one particular prophet or a guru. And you can say that, that person was God, or that was the messenger of God, or that person was the son of God, but I'm not. I'm not the same. And the Guru is saying, that's not the right way to look at life. That's not the right way to understand. The right way to understand is that it is everywhere. It's in everything. Why would you want to limit your interaction with God as only being someone who you can speak to in one particular way? The Guru is saying, speak to God everywhere. God is in every single thing. If you need a form, some spiritual traditions worship God through a form. They take a murti, an idol, and they need that form. Some people, even we looked at the Bhagavad Gita, they worship the form of Krishna, the shape, the color, the beauty of his face, the radiance in his eyes. So they look at a particular form, and the Guru is saying, if you need a particular form, then everything is God's form. Don't limit yourself to only having Krishna in one particular form. Have Krishna in every single form. And that's essentially what the Bhagavad Gita is saying. I am everywhere. I'm in everything. See me everywhere. Don't just see me in one limited way. So the question you have to ask is, if I want to look at God, where should I look? The Guru is saying, look all around you. In fact, where are you not looking at God? Everything is Harka Roop. And more importantly, even the one looking is God. God is looking at God. Oneness is looking at oneness itself. Take the example, for those of you from the Sikh tradition who are familiar with the stories of Guru Nanak. One of the most famous stories of Guru Nanak is that he traveled to Mecca. And when he came to the holy city, he decided to lie down and rest. And outside the holy city, he lied down and he pointed his feet towards Mecca, towards Kaaba, the holiest place within the Islamic tradition. Guru Nanak pointed his feet there. And of course, people were offended. People came up to him and very rudely spoke to Guru Nanak and said, why are you pointing your feet to the house of God? And Guru Nanak, in all his wisdom, said, sorry, this is my mistake. Please point my feet where God isn't there. And the story is that this person came and they moved Guru Nanak's feet, and as soon as they moved Guru Nanak's feet, they turned around and Mecca was there. And they moved Guru Nanak's feet a different place and Mecca was also there. And everywhere they moved Guru Nanak's feet, Mecca was there. But what it really means was Guru Nanak was educating people. Don't limit God to one person, one form, one shape or one place. God is everywhere, in every place, in everything. And so we need to understand that where we have suffered in life, remember this is all to do with peace. Where we've suffered in life is because we've not understood how to look. Because we see life as this big challenge and then we go on a spiritual journey and we're trying to look for God. We're escaping life and looking for God somewhere else. It's like a fish that is looking for water but is swimming around trying to find water and doesn't know what water looks like, doesn't know where to look.
A nice, simple, basic teaching.
Oof.
What?
We couldn't even post the last video because it wasn't nice and simple. I got too mean and intense. But this one here, I found myself nodding along. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. You know, if you are sitting there thinking God's away, can I say something?
Yeah, jump in.
If you are sitting there thinking God's away, then do what this video says and start to open up to the idea that God's always and in all directions. And then there's further to go from that even.
Yeah.
I feel like, but never mind that. If this could be very helpful if you're feeling overly like dogmatic, overly narrow.
Think about the day and age that we're living in right now. Like if you take all the current, situations going around the world, whatever, you're scrolling on your social media feeds, whatever you're watching on TV, whatever you're seeing at your job, the things that are irritating you, the things that are getting under your skins, the things you wish you were different. This video is essentially saying it's all God. It's all,
that is kind of what it's essentially saying,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's all God, yeah. And then if that starts to feel heavy, like it's all God, everywhere God, if that starts to become a thing, come back for more content and we'll go deeper. You know what I'm saying? But I think initially it could be helpful to start looking at it from the story he's telling and his perspective he's taking. I'm like, I see what you're up to, man. And that's a hell of a lot better content and explanation of things and some other stuff that's going on that would have you super conflicted, intense feeling.
Yeah, a lot of people right now, they're picking sides. Imagine take something pretty simple, like a common thing that people dispute are like, conservative versus liberal values, right? And people get really hot and bothered about the other side, thinking that their way is superior. And just imagine, try to take that philosophy and input it into that situation. How does it now change your perspective about what you deem as the other ugly side? Just the way Arjuna was in that situation. He's looking across at the deemed bad guys,
Isn't there so much of that from all like religions, their holy teachers? Don't they every now and then, the most prophets, is it not a common theme where they're like telling you to reconsider your enemy? Like,
yes.
See them a little differently. I mean, after all, they're you know what I mean? Like pointing to like they're you.
Exactly.
They're you, and just start by trying to see that maybe. If this is the first time you've considered such a thing. You know, there's more. Like I said, I'm just. This is a teaser version of the more that's to come. But at this level, that is a shift in perspective. That is a kind of a shift from like they're the demons and I'm the angel. We're angels, they're demons. There's a way of looking at it because that can feel heavy and you can start to see the cracks in the fakeness of that. Yeah. And this is kind of inviting you to see it all the way through. It's all God even, you know what I mean? And that's kind of a tall ask if you start thinking about it. But rather than getting overly thinky, try to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's funny because it is basic yet also advanced because it's something that, you know, can take probably, I think would say the majority of us an entire lifetime to embody this because...
Doesn't matter. Some people advanced stuff's basic and some people basic stuff's
I've heard this stuff. I get hot and bothered, man. I get, bumped wrong in line and, get angry about, getting bumped wrong in line. Well, that was me that just bumped me, The same,
Well, it's a response. Sometimes it's a physical response. If you cut a frog in half and put the legs into boiling water, they kick. They kick at it. Like sometimes it's just a physical, just the way the world works.
Yeah.
But it can be helpful. Maybe it's sort of mysterious at this point, but this type of dialogue can be open some doorways for you to consider for a moment that all this stuff is the same thing and that look at what this mystic was pointing to. The holiness that you're trying to narrow down, the holiness you're trying to box is actually far and wide.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, let us know what you think about it. How do you deal with this? How do you cope with this in your own personal life with all the obstacles that you're faced with? Let us know in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed our reaction on this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share this with a friend, and everyone until next time,
stay spiritual.